So welcome to the next episode of Talking Trickline Therapy with Mickey Wilson. I'm so happy to meet you finally here in Colorado Mountain Games.
Yeah, I'm super happy that you came. It's great to have you here, and it's great to have all these other trickliners here. I'm stoked.
Mickey's one of the pillars of tricklining, right?
That's nice of you to say. I appreciate it.
When did you start?
I started slacklining in 2007, walking 1-inch primitive lines. I didn't really like it that much. It wasn't until 2009 when I met Josh Bodwin, and he showed me how to do backflips on lines. And then I bought a slackline. I got really stoked. And then I started tricklining pretty much right away in 2010, 2011.
So what was how did you start? What brought you into trickline? Okay, he showed you the tricks, but how?
Seeing Josh Bodwin do a backflip on the slackline, and then seeing videos of Andy Lewis do it and Mike Payton doing some tricks. And then I met Mike Payton and Andy Lewis and saw how they rig trick lines. And I did a job for Gibbon USA back when it was first started, and they gave me a free jib line, and I started getting into trick lining that way. I didn't have any pads or anything, but I was young and invincible then, so I didn't need pads.
Well, how old were you?
I was 21.
21,
yeah.
Okay.
And I actually thought slacklining was really lame back in 2007, and it was really hard. And I was a very, proud, athletic kid. So if I wasn't really good at something right away, I didn't try it much. Anyways, yeah, I didn't have the patience for slacklining. But then I met a few people, like I said, Josh Bodwin, Andy Lewis, met them in person, saw cool stuff they could do.
Can you show some stuff from what they do?
I mean, their stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. This is this guy doing a backflip 8 years ago. It's about the time I met him. Backflip, another slackline tricks. Yep, that's old Josh for sure. Classic style. Classic Josh Bodwin backflip, nice and laid out. Stuck it. Yeah.
So it was really low back then, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a jib line for sure. That's more like Josh's style. I never got into the way he dances on a line. Yeah. But anyways.
What was your first trick
surfing? Josh is one of the best surfing slackliners in the world, and I definitely like to surf that way. I'm hoping to surf.
That's where your surfing came from?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, yeah.
What was the first trick that you wanted to learn besides what is a backflip?
Backflip. Sure.
Oh, okay.
I hated slacklining until I saw someone do a backflip.
How long did it take for you to learn the backflip?
Couple weeks.
Couple of weeks?
I wasn't slacklining a lot back then. Slacklining was not my.
No, I mean it's pretty short. It's a pretty short time.
Oh, you thought that was short?
Yeah.
I mean, I was backflipping off, and as soon as I could backflip off comfortably, I would backflip and then land with my feet on either side of the line. And then once I could do that and felt like I had control, I just started trying to land on it.
So guys, if you have a solid backflip, you can jib line. Jib line, it means the slack line is pretty low but tight. Then you can try a backflip.
Definitely.
What Andy Lewis inspired you to do?
Oh, be a little crazier than I thought I could be, and high line and rope swing and stuff like that, I think.
Should we watch some of his stuff?
Sure. I mean, he's easy to find on YouTube for sure. Andy Lewis, let's go with a base jump. Why not?
From tricklining to base jumping.
And double base jump, that's where he almost dies. GoPro parachute fail with Andy Lewis. All the first things you get are sketchy stuff.
Did you know that he was a sketchy one back then? Did it give you that vibe right away, or?
The first time I ever met Andy Lewis, we were on North Table Mountain in Golden, Colorado, and it was my second or third highline ever, so I didn't know how sketchy it was at the time, but when I tell this story, people understand. We were going to rig the really short bolt-to-bolt highline on the Spire, and he was trying to rig a 100-footer all on cams and nuts.
What's cams?
Cams are the camming, climbing devices you play cracks.
Okay.
And I just saw him pulling and pulling and pulling, and then all of a sudden we hear, and we look over and we see all these cams just jingling around. They'd all popped out, and one single nut had held the whole system together.
Oh my God! Was anybody was when we were tensioning?
They were about to finish tensioning.
Okay.
Probably go get out on it. It was a sketchy rig. Super sketchy. Glad that it broke before they could get on it.
Yeah, but he survives all of this stuff, right?
Yeah, he's got he's like not. I mean, cats have 9 lives. I think Andy Lewis has 90.
90.
Yeah, I mean, let's check out.
So did you guys like trickline together a lot, or did you just get inspired and try to do it by yourself?
Andy Lewis came here and tricklined at one of the first ever mountain games competitions. And yeah, I've tricklined with Andy a bunch. Andy Lewis gave me my first ever 2-inch line lock.
Why did he get it? Like
he made it himself.
He made it himself.
And then when he saw how stoked I was on oh, boom! When he saw how stoked I was on 2-inch slacklining and other stuff, I think he just decided I needed it more than him. Andy's a really, generous guy. He gives a lot to the community, and
wasn't he like
he just gave it to me. I was staying at it in his gear cave. I think it was probably 2013 or something. He just gave it to me.
Was there any competition between three of you? Or was it more like support and inspiration?
I mean, at some point on the Trickline, I surpassed Andy. I remember the first time I ever beat him in a competition in San Francisco, and it was pretty sweet.
Do you have a video?
We got into a backflip off. We were both trying to land our backflip at the end of our run, and he fell off twice, and I fell off once, and then on my last one, I landed my backflip, and then I ended up winning that comp.
Do you have like any videos from back then?
Nah, somewhere maybe. Who knows? But I mean, and Josh also, I didn't really compete with. He was in his own thing. He was doing his own Josh Bowden stuff, and I was trying to do tricklining. And Andy was the godfather of tricklining, pretty much. Oh, here he goes. And this is where he has a cutaway malfunction. He doesn't cut away. This thing right here was supposed to cut away. He couldn't get it. And he's fighting it right now. He's got like half of a parachute above his head. So they're saying, oh, he's streaming. You're screwed. You're screwed. Pitch. Because he was supposed to pitch a second parachute here. So you see he's got half of a parachute.
Oh, my God.
And he finally pitches, I think. He's trying to fight it and get that thing to release.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like, most people would just be,
panicking.
Panicking. Crap in the bed. And then Andy's, used up one of his 90 lives there. So, I mean, that's not actually the stuff that inspires me of Andy. That's impressive, but, he's obviously an impressive dude.
Let's look at some of his slacklining stuff.
Oh, Andy Lewis slackline?
Yeah.
I mean, to see Andy Lewis in his
element, you need to.
You gotta go to old school Gibbon slackline competitions.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for that you gotta go follow Philip Freudenman's channel, World of Tomorrow. He's responsible for creating a lot of trickliners because he made the original Gibbon videos that got a lot of people stoked. And he still makes videos for Gibbon. World of Tomorrow.
Maybe Gibbon or something, yeah.
There we go. Slack Life Brazil. Here we go. Andy Lewis is in this one. This is one of my favorite slackline movies growing up.
Did you watch? Are you in it?
No. This is Andy Lewis going to Brazil with some Gibbon people. And here they're playing music. They're at the beach, and there, see, that's classic Brazilian beach line. Yeah. Right, on some big poles.
Was it your first line? The jib line?
My jib line. A jib line was my first ever line. There's Gabriel Aglio. He's
Yeah, no, Gabriel.
Oh, now we're gonna get some commercials.
Oh no. How far did you make it? Like, what was the farthest you went to compete?
Man, I went to Dubai a bunch to perform. I went to to Europe a bunch to compete. Never went to Brazil or Japan for slacklining. That was a cool.
Yeah, I can see it's like
there's Alan.
Oh yeah, Alan. Yeah.
He's an old school Brazilian trickliner. And there he goes. There's Alan. Andy's in this. I'm almost sure. Am I wrong? Oh, that's such a sick water line.
Yeah, Brazil is beautiful. One of my first competition I watched was in Brazil.
So this is a World of Tomorrow production. These videos, there's Jose Pablo Munoz. I've slacked with him, competed with him a bunch. That's a young Phil Freudenman. Barely recognize him. Holy cow. But no Andy Lewis in this one. Let's find the... so if you go to World of Tomorrow's channel, 8 million slackline dives. That's pretty cool. Why men really... that's probably... I want to go see something really old, though.
Yeah. So what was your, relationship with Andy?
Good friend.
Good friends.
I feel like he showed me a lot of stuff of what was possible. There's Kapai. slacklined with him a bunch back in the day. He's one of the most incredible trickliners to ever.
You want to like take a look at his video, maybe? Yeah, I think Gapai inspired a lot of people.
Gapai's amazing. There you go. There's Andy looking like a champ. It's probably got to be some Andy Lewis slacking in here. I don't recognize his video, but
yeah, it's a teaser. Yeah. Hopefully, it's not just photos. Oh, Jan.
That was Lucas Huber. Slacklined with him a bunch. There's Andy Lewis. And he looks young though. Oh,
yeah, it's hard.
It is hard to find something
good.
Slackline World Cup freak wave. Here we go. Yeah, Andy's big thing that he always talks about that I know he's really proud of is at one point he held the world free solo record for length, and he was the World Cup winner that year.
It's a big year.
He was like, the best trickliner and highliner at the time. Of course, there was only like 100 of them in existence.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard to be the best. Ellie Schultz. I'm just kidding, Andy. Andy did amazing stuff. I think in this video he does a spiral to spiral to spiral, which like I can't even do on a big line. It's Nick Tin Hoopin, old school slackliner as well. Mike Payton, the master of front flips.
What was your signature trick back then?
Back then, I wasn't that good back then. There's Andy doing a mojo flat spin
to stomach.
To stomach. Yeah. Look how low the line is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look how low that trick line is. That was a standing 540. There's Ellie Schultz, the best ever one-arm lever slacker.
It's crazy to me like how sideways people go as well.
Oh, and this guy was like the best backflipper ever. Oh, what was his name again? Shoot, feeling bad now. I've hung out with these guys before, but plenty of times.
So Andy was a little bit ahead back then, right? Like in 2011?
Yeah, this is 2011. Yeah, that was right when I started trick lining. Oh, I shouldn't have gone for There's another Mike Payton front flip. Go figure.
What was your journey? Like you got stoked about backflips and then...
Started with backflips for sure. And then, I met, like I said, I met those guys. I started learning about how to rig trick lines. And then, okay. So if you want to go have a little history lesson, when I first finally started getting good at trick lining, my big thing was, because I was a big skier back then, so I took more of a skier's approach. I wanted to do big flips and big tricks. The first ever competition they ever had here, I did the first ever double that's ever been done on a slack line, but it wasn't on, it was off. Like Andy had thrown, what I was looking for was Andy doing a double backflip dismount, but he lands on his face, basically. He lands on his stomach, and it was super amazing on that timeline. But when I was here in 2012, I did a standing backflip, landed on the line, and then used that to jump me super high, and I did a double backflip dismount.
So that was the first one?
I'm pretty sure that was the first ever double ever. I mean, Andy through a double, but you wouldn't call it a landing, in my opinion. Andy might argue with me on that. Who knows? Who cares?
Probably will.
I definitely know my double was a cleaner landing than his, but what I'm saying is he definitely inspired me for that kind of stuff. I mean, look at that squirrel backflip. To a backflip dismount, just like I did. But
what was your biggest inspiration?
That's Lucas Huber. That's an amazing thing doing all those mojo or 6 nasties in a row.
Was the competitions inspiring you, or was training with people inspiring you the most?
I was pretty competitive. I wanted to win competitions for sure. And I actually never was that good of a trick liner. I was never one of the best trick liners in the world. I was world class. I was able to go to World Cups and compete. Never really won a World Cup. Never won a World Championships of trick lining. But I was good. But I wasn't that good, and I was very distracted by other things like highlining and whatever.
Something's going on.
Something's going on in the trick line.
Yeah.
But, I didn't really find my stride until the Red Bull contest came around, and I had a really good head for it. I was really comfortable with heights, and that's when Let's
look at some of it, because I think you're kind of you found yourself in the higher trick lines, like airlines.
Yeah, sure. Slacklining over an old sailing Red Bull Slack Ship 2016. I think that might be the one I won. I won one of the Red Bull Slack Ships. Towery won 2 of them.
Did you actually like doing it, or was it that just your skill was good for it? So you're okay, if I'm good there.
Oh no, I loved
maybe
it.
You loved it.
I loved it. It's the coolest feeling in the world. you're flying in the air above practically nothing, a little net.
Yeah, I love
you
that,
can
yeah.
see through the net to the ground. You know, there's me jumping from line to line. There's Filip Oleksik, who I trained with a ton in Poland. He's one of my favorite slackliners in the world. He's such a good guy. And we slackline really similarly. We really like slackline well together.
What about those transfers? Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was double drop.
Yeah.
It was Carlos Neto. Dude, that's like why I won so many, because I was a highliner turned trickliner, basically, so I was a lot more comfy on my feet than almost everybody else out there, except for maybe Jan or something. Oh, that was such a good save. It's Carlos Neto with his signature free fall to a spiral. There's Luke Diestel. He won best trick for that double backflip.
Oh, yeah. Where is this one showing up? So where did you train? Like, especially like with airlines.
Dude,
how did you?
Progress was the key to my success. It's like a Woodward style gym with an airbag.
Yeah,
and we could set,
I've been there. Yeah.
We could set trick lines. I established all the sock lines in that gym. I bolted everything. I had a vision with what I wanted to do with Progress. And I was really good friends with the guys. I used to work there as a ski instructor, and they just gave me free reign to bolt wherever I wanted. So the first ever trick line in Progress was like 60 feet long and like this feet high. And by the end, you know, we were going 85 feet long and, you know, 3-4 meters off the airbag. And
That's like if there's anything there. About
probably
Progress.
some Progress.
So skiing was your like first sport?
Oh yeah, grew up as a skier.
How
Like Progress trampoline.
How-
Oh yeah, and then there's my Highline I rigged in the.
Oh, let's look at it.
Oh, here we go.
that's Progress.
Here's an old school one of me trick lining in 2000, long time ago. It's me trying a Misty. Tired of. Oh, this was my advertisement for Progress. I was trying to like sell and get people to come. Wish you could land on a soft pillow instead.
Oh, so you were falling for it just to show how it's.
Yeah, these are all crashes, but
Yeah.
the trick line Progress. Oh, there's Michelle. That's right. I remember she was slacklining there a bunch.
I think it was like a it was
That
a
was a
place.
standing backflip to up bounds. I forgot about that trick.
That was like college.
Man, so long ago. That was right when I first started growing my hair out. It's not even that long there. Wild. Yep, so that airbag is insane. So soft, so safe. And yeah, that's the original trick line over there on the left, very low. We eventually ended up going from the same anchor there.
But a little bit further that way.
to the other corner of the gym.
That's so awesome.
Excuse me. There's finally a clean Misty. God, it's funny watching me do Misties and then watching like these Japanese kids do them or something.
Yeah. What do you think about Japanese kids nowadays?
They're incredible. They have a great work ethic, great attitude, really good head on their shoulders. They're athletes. They're dedicated. You know, they're amazing.
Who's your favorite trickliner? Back then and maybe now, like who do you have a favorite?
Like right now, my favorite trick line. I don't follow trick lining anymore. It's bad. I do follow it. I mean, that's hard to say. I can't pick them all. I can name so many trick liners that I love. I really do like. I don't have a favorite.
Maybe like tricks you admire.
Tricks or tricks?
Tricks you admire on a trick line.
Jan Rose's double backflip feet to feet. It's the best trick that's ever been done. Nobody can top that. There's nothing that's ever been harder landed. I mean, the triple butt flip, sure, it's still not as hard as a double backflip feet to feet. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
So when you performed in Dubai, was it like a highline trick line?
I did mostly highline trick line shows there. There were a couple times where like I showed up and they had built humongous scaffolding towers just for me and my highline trick line.
Oh, it's you.
This is such a cool gym. All right, mall. Such a cool mall. Yeah, I got linked up with this really cool event company called Flow Events, and they brought me over to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, kind of same general area, like 10 times in a few years. So I was going there flying.
Oh, there was also two lines that you would transfer.
No, that's a
Backup?
Gibbon surf line backed up with a Gibbon flow line.
Ah, okay. What's the hardest trick you can do on a highline trick line?
That exposure surfing doesn't get nearly enough credit, but it's super hard.
It is super hard.
I mean, I landed the first ever double butt flip on a highline.
That's sick. How do you manage the leash? Like with a...
I built myself a little rubber tube thing that I taped to my harness, and it just held the leash off to the side. Eric Hake has done a double front and a double back now, and he doesn't use it. He just has a stiff leash that he velcros to his harness, and it holds on. But yeah, that was fun. Anyways, yeah, Highline Trickline shows are one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Let's see what if Eric Hake has anything.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Hake is one of my favorite trickliners because he does Highline tricklining, which I think is the coolest thing. The tricklining is fun, but Eric Hake, unreal fine. Oh yeah, let's see what he did to Gibbon. What he did for Gibbon.
Have you guys ever trained together with Eric?
I taught Eric everything.
Really?
He does. Eric was not a slackliner until he started slacklining at my house.
How did you meet him?
He was a really good skier, and we were both going to Colorado School of Mines.
Oh, because he's from Colorado, right?
Same university.
Oh my God.
Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah.
So he was 4 years younger than me, and he had never touched a slackline before. I don't think. And
that's crazy.
So he just started coming over to my house because I had really badass trick lines rigged in my backyard, and there's his double backflip. He nailed it. It's amazing.
So did you guys pretty much did you create like a new kind of sport almost?
Yeah, I created the sport of Highline tricklining. Brendan Gebhardt did a little bit of it, but he did like once. I came up with ways to manage the leash. I came up with ways to rig the lines at tension and safely. I came up with all the backup. Yeah, no, I invented the super tiny esoteric niche sport of Highline tricklining for sure.
How do we feel?
And Eric is like perfecting it, honestly. But nobody else does it because, forgive the expression, you gotta have really big cojones to do this. The whips are insanely intense. You have to have a core of steel. It's not taking anything away from those badass Highline freestylers because their sport is amazing too. But Highline tricklining is the scariest, most hardcore badass thing you can do on a slackline, I think. My opinion, obviously just an opinion, and Eric is, it's hard for like the Jedi Master to say the Padawan is like past him, but Eric has probably passed me now in this sport. I helped him rig this line, by the way.
Funny. What do you think about Ben Schneider? Because he was trying to do a double and he almost like broke something.
Yeah, in this exact same spot.
Oh, really? Did he go with you?
No, I wasn't there, but I heard about him trying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Ben's awesome. He's a great guy. A little loose for me.
Looser than Andy Lewis.
Andy Lewis is really calculated. He really is. He's made some mistakes, but out of the thousands of dangerous things he's done, it's pretty impressive. Ben also is pretty calculated. He's a smart guy too, but I don't know.
Let's look at some Gapayo or something.
Okay.
Or who's your favorite female? Like, have you had like a female partners, trickliners?
I performed with Coco Giro a bunch. But,
let's look at her.
Let's look at
which one?
Right now. Giovanna's super impressive. So is Valentina.
Have you trained with Giovanna?
Yeah, a little bit. Sure, we've been on Gibbon trips together. Yeah, she's awesome.
She was also like one of the first girls, pretty much, right? Like who?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a great style. Also, really impresses me how she just trick lines. She's so Brazilian, like shorts, tank top.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I can't do that.
She's tougher than me. I always trick line with shoes, long pants, long shirt.
She says it doesn't hurt her.
Well, because she's tough, and if you do it a lot, if you're always trick lining like that, your skin toughens up.
But I also feel like people have different skin.
Maybe, I have no idea. Maybe.
But maybe you're right. Maybe you just get used to it, Like for me, like when I started, I still wear bike pads because my skin just gets so worn out that it's like I pretty much lose skin on my butt if I don't wear them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a tough sport, not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Giovanna, who else is out there?
There's so many.
Like Coco Giro did she do a Highline trickline too as well?
Yeah,
I think she did some, right?
She's done a lot. And I also, so I don't really follow tricklining anymore.
When did you stop following tricklining?
I never followed tricklining. I did it, but I was never taking videos of myself or watching other videos. I I don't like to like live in the screen world.
You like to live in a do-it world.
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, I have 1,000 things that I probably should post on Instagram.
Do you actually have like a favorite video of yourself or like of anything like tricklining?
Well, one of the coolest videos I ever worked on was the Red Bull Airlines project where I was on Red Bull TV. The whole they just wanted to do a documentary of me and my trip at the Red Bull Airlines. You gotta go to Red Bull TV for that. Red Bull TV Slackline or something, I think. Give me a break. Oh, right there. Slackline Airlines, something like that. It's all Jan Rosa now, though. He's the Red Bull athlete.
Yeah. What was your relationship with Jan? Like,
super good. He's a really great guy. He's a very, very good guy, and really dedicated. And there's a lot of competition between us, especially in the airlines. Yeah, I mean, Jan is just an incredible athlete, especially at slacklining.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if it's still on here anymore. It used to be on Red Bull. I mean, it used to be like on like repeat on Red Bull TV.
Yeah, I guess I rotate stuff.
Who knows?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we made a really long Red Bull movie that was on Red Bull TV for a while. Just me going and setting up a high line across the volcano Mount Etna.
What?
Yeah, not like lava underneath. It's just an active crater. Yeah, and then I won that Red Bull Airlines contest that year.
I've never heard about that one.
I think I got first. I think Towery second, Jan third. Something like that.
What about the one that's with like clothes on? You know, like they did it, I think they did it in Italy.
That's airlines.
Yeah.
That's airlines.
Red Bull Airlines flying high, touch the stars, reach for the sky. Adrenaline rush, we're on cloud 9. Red Bull Airlines, we're alive. Red Bull Airlines, we're alive.
What about Alex Mason?
Dude, I mean the Wonder Kid. It was actually I was competing against him here when I threw that double backflip dismount, and the judges still picked him, which I just totally disagreed with. Like I threw a world's first ever trick, you know. Although he's a high level trick liner, who knows? He came up to me and told me that he thought I won after that, if I recall.
Really?
I think so, but maybe he was just being nice. But Alex Mason, you know, one of the best athletes to ever compete. Dude has so many first place wins over his 10-year career.
Let's look at his stuff over here.
The Machine. That's right. I still have my shirt where I have my nickname on that. Oh, look at those fresh crash pads.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh wow, I forgot when they had the scaffolding too. And he looks young there.
We're still using those today, right, at the competition?
What?
Those given crash pads?
Some of those might be reusing right now. Now we're using an airbag though.
Yeah, I mean like around the airbag. I still have some of those. I think they got like spread out among athletes, so I still have a couple of those. I think Martin has a little bit, some of them too.
Yep. Alex Mason. Dude was the machine. He won a lot of contests. Nailed a lot of tricks.
When were you like the most stoked about trick lining?
When I was winning like 3 Red Bull contests in a single year and traveling to Dubai and doing all this stuff for Highline Trickline, you know, I was on the road more than I was at home, and I was winning contests and getting paid to do performances.
How did it go down? Like when did you kind of like run out of steam, if you did?
I mean, I'm definitely not doing as much as I used to. That's for sure. But you know, I turned 30, got married, had a kid.
The video is so cute. I saw some videos of him.
He is cute.
Yeah.
No, really more what it was is, I guess the only thing I didn't mention, like I started slacklining at college. I was at Colorado School of Mines. I spent 5 years getting a bachelor's degree in physics and a master's degree in microelectronic materials, which is semiconductors. And my real goal in life is to save the world with solar energy. And, you know, I was having a lot of fun slacklining, but I really wasn't contributing much to the world. I mean, I was contributing some positivity and stoking people up on slacklining. I got told just yesterday by Giada, that I have all the respect. Because she was just saying something about how I should go slackline. Anyways,
but you also saved a life, right? When you were
that was a positive impact on the world. I saved a life using my slackline skills.
Yeah.
But you asked when it went down. Yeah, I mean, I'd been slacklining nonstop for 7 years, basically. I'd accomplished most of my goals. I'd won some first place World Red Bull Championships. I'd gotten, to travel the world, meet lots of cool people. I didn't really run out of steam. I just shifted focus. I mean, I actually gained steam. I'm way more than I was back then. Honestly, I have way more stuff going on. I'm raising a family. I'm taking care of a house and a wife, a beautiful wife, Purple. She's amazing. Love you, Purple. And I'm working at a real heavy science job, doing thin film solar cell research at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. And that's way more important to the world than slacklining, in my opinion. Climate change and all that stuff is going to be slacklining is amazing. Everybody should slackline, but it's a fun thing. It's not the point of life. I mean, right now it's the point of my life. For the next 4 days,
we're doing a competition.
I took 3 days off of work. I am not saving the world with solar energy anymore right now. But I don't know. To answer your question, I didn't lose steam. I shifted my steam engine in another direction. And I'm still slacklining. I still love slacklining. I mean, I'm going to hopefully do some more highline stuff this year. But, 34 years old. I don't really love getting injured anymore. Tricklining is a harsh mistress.
But you still have a trickline in your backyard, right?
Oh, yeah. And a trampoline.
And a tramp wall,
climbing wall, bunch of rodeo lines.
And I know Rio, your son jumps a little bit on the trampoline and airbag.
He's 2.5, but he's trampolining at a 4-year-old level.
4-year-old.
He's awesome. He's good at it.
What were your highlights of your career? Besides airlines, I know you've been in an Ellen show because of
you want me to give you my highlight reel?
Yeah, do it.
My highlight reel. All right. Okay, it starts with the first ever double ever landed off of on or off a slackline. That was, Jan Rosa landed the first double butt flip, landing on. I did the first ever double dismount after being inspired by Andy Lewis. So first ever double on a slackline, basically. And then being the most decorated Red Bull slackline athlete, three podiums, and actually there was another kind of world airline championship in Mexico that was sponsored by Mexico Tourism Agency, but that was a world-class one too. Benny Schmid was there, Philip Alexic was there, Itzky was there, so 4 major airline world championship podiums and championships, 4 airline championships and 10 podiums, more than anybody. I was on that podium at those airline contests more than anybody. And I beat some really amazing athletes. The amount of respect I have for Jan Rosa, Tauri Vahesser, Benny Schmid, Philip Alexic, to name a few. Beating them felt good because I could never have beat most of them on an actual trick line. So being at the top of the game of the Red Bull airline scene, saving a life with my slackline skills.
Tell a little bit about that.
like the short story?
The short story, yeah.
We get off the chairlift expecting to see our buddy there. He's not there. It's a huge snowstorm. We don't know what's going on. Turns out his backpack strap got caught in the chairlift, and his other backpack strap got wrapped around his neck. The chairlift kept going. He got pulled out 50 feet into the air, or 50 feet down. He was hanging 20 feet in the air, but basically out of reach. So he was hanging by his neck for 2 minutes, 3 minutes or something. And at this point I realized we have to do something or he's going to die. And I realized I have my slackline epiphany that instead of seeing a ski lift tower and a cable, I see a tree and a slackline.
Oh my God.
And I just go
I have goosebumps.
I know what to do. So I take off my ski gloves. I run up the hill. I climb the chairlift tower. Somebody yells at me not to climb the chairlift tower, but I
disregard it.
Disregard. I keep climbing. I get on the ski lift cable. I slide across it just like you would slide across.
Yeah, shimmy.
I shimmy because I'm in my ski boots and it's freezing. And I get to his chairlift. I swing down. I land, and then Ski Patrol shows up and they throw me a knife. And I catch it miraculously with numb hands. And they feel like they're cheering. Not for me, actually. And then I open the knife, I cut the strap, and he falls. And, it was a huge affirmation from the God, the Great Spirit, whatever it is. That was way to go, dude.
Here it is.
Way to be a slackliner.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else could have done that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the universe puts a person in your life when you need them the most. Our next guest walked 30 feet across a ski lift cable to cut a skier free who was hanging from his backpack. From Colorado, Golden, Colorado, please welcome Mickey Wilson and the man who he saved, Richard. What a crazy story. So
that and then meeting, my wife Purple, who I love, who's a slackliner.
Yeah.
I met her through slacklining. We slacklined together, and we had the most beautiful slackline wedding in Moab with a space net and a rope swing. What's that?
Do you have a video of that?
Of course, there's a video.
Yeah, let's see.
Although, yeah, let's do. Here's one. Oh yeah, this is my video. So yeah, there's the sign we made.
Yeah, she was telling me a
This
story
was pretty
that.
cool. I walked the slack line with an ankle shackle. I considered it a free solo, but
Yeah,
that
wow.
would have been really dumb. Especially since it's not just a standard slack line. It's like
Connected
a
to
slack
the
line to a
space
space
net.
net, then a small
Yeah.
space net connected to that net.
It's a lot of movement.
I mean, look at me. I'm pretty solid. I could have been free soloing, but
Yeah, she told me when you guys met, she like discovered a different side of you. Because like a lot of people like see like this shine part of you, like, oh, he's like this and this and this. So a lot of people assume.
Purple knows all my flaws. All my flaws.
But she was like, he knows physics and I know physics, and he wanted to do compost in his backyard. She's like, oh my god, I was so fascinated. And then
Wedding guest. That's
Yeah.
a pretty cool wedding
Yeah.
guest party. Yeah. So, anyways, walking the line. So beautiful. Just.
what idea was it?
Purple and I had the idea together at the exact same time.
Wow.
I got engaged on the Ellen show, right? I proposed to her on a High Line the day before the Ellen show. We announced it on the Ellen show when I was interviewed for the Ski Lift Rescue. Purple did such a good job battling with the wind and her skirt.
Yeah, that's so
her dress,
crazy.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's purple.
Of course. I was really proud of her on this walk. It was not easy.
Imagine like walking it, but also like feeling so excited about the wedding. It's just double excitement.
I was
crazy.
holding my breath there. I didn't want to shake the line.
Oh my
I didn't want to shake the
god,
line at all.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
That's beautiful.
She doesn't walk it off to the net, which I think was a smart move.
just goes
the
down.
edges of the net is super hard to walk high lines at the edges of space nets. Like right there's a lot of steel there, and it gets heavy, so it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to walk off on a net.
I see.
So we do our vows. Oh, this is funny. I tricked the whole wedding party. I pretend to drop the rings. See right there?
Yeah.
You see,
Your hair looks good there.
oh yeah, I did that hair myself. Purple said I should let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
It was a little funny. And then this was my idea. This was 100% my idea. Although this was her idea. I was like, should I pick you up? And she was like, yeah, pick me up. And it's hard to pick somebody up
On the
a
space net,
'cause
yeah.
it's all unstable.
Yeah.
And the rope swing was just beautiful. And then my cousin Jimmy, who's a
Uh-huh.
badass redneck from Missouri, Kansas City, shot fireworks.
That's crazy. Oh, the fireworks.
Tarzan, I gotta give props to Tarzan, Grand Slacker Austin. Tarzan from Austin, Texas. He's an amazing person. He filmed this whole video. He held my phone and videoed for 40 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for your time. What would be your advice to like new trickliners?
Get a training partner. It's so much easier to train when you have Stoke around you. Find a gym, a place you can, a dojo. That's really important. Tricklining in your backyard is sick, though. Having it at your house is also really sick. Get a good padding system. I don't care how tough and strong you are. Like, having a good padding system is really, really good. And obviously go have fun. Take chances, but make small progression steps. Tricklining is not something that should be rushed.
Yeah, true.
And most importantly, just keep calm and slack on.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go back to Mountain Games competition and see some amazing stuff tomorrow.
Let's do it.